Why, hello everybody. Welcome to Coffee Connections. My name is Seth Weiner and I am your auctioneer. Welcome back. I know we're picking things back up now. It's September. And I just want to welcome everyone back to the show. And if you're new and you want to check back our 50 plus episodes, you can go to coffeeconnections.live to see all of our past episodes. Also, while you're on the website, I want to let you know I've got some more resources I'm going to be putting out to everyone. And starting with our latest blog, which is under our resources tab at yourauctioneer.com, with 9 unique Atlanta venues to consider hosting your next event. And these include places like the Illuminary, as well as the Fox Theater and the Zoo, and many more. So, well, only 7 more, really. So check it out. Again, that's at our blog. And it's just a quick update, though. I spent not last week. It was last weekend. Wow. Time is so elastic right now. But the other weekend, I was up in Texas and I did the Benefit Auctioneer Summit. It's the National Auctioneer Association's fundraising professionals, the Benefit Auctioneers, where we all gather. And there was a good group of us, and we shared. Unlike most industries, we share information, we share ideas, we share our successes, and it was just phenomenal. So now here I am back with just so many ideas, so many things that I want to share with my clients, and also anyone that's interested. I'm doing the free consultations right now. So if interested, go to yourauctioneer.com, schedule yours, and just there's so many wonderful things to learn from what other organizations are doing. And that's another reason why I love this show, Coffee Connections. Like today, for example. Today, we're going to jump right into it. Our guest today is the one and only Lauren Wyatt with the Bloom Closet. Now, Lauren is a program manager of the Bloom Closet. It's a free resource for foster children in the state of Georgia. Now, she was raised in Woodstock, Georgia, and graduated from Georgia State University. After working in retail for management for like 7 years, she was ready to do something that had purpose, like many of you who are watching today. Now, Bloom came into her life just at the right time. She's been with Bloom for almost 3 years, and she started as the closet store manager and transitioned to program manager with Bloom's exciting growth. Now, she lives in Fayetteville with her new husband and her 2 labs and enjoys outdoor activities. And just like all of us, a good rom-com. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and move my things around. I'm a little rusty here. Ladies and gentlemen, Lauren, welcome to the show. Oh, there you are.
Me. Hi. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, good to see you. Well, listen, before we get started, it's Coffee Connection. So let's do a little coffee talk. Do you drink coffee?
I drink coffee every morning.
Oh, do you have a mug that you use?
Okay, now I probably have a mug collection. Now with me, I have Choose Happy because, well, always, we should always try to be happy. Start the day out positive, and that's why I drink coffee, to start the day out positive.
What kind of coffee do you drink?
I'm usually an iced coffee drinker. I like an Americano and just a little shot of cream, and I'm set. But on the weekends, I will do a hot cup because I'm in my jammies on my couch. That's different.
Yes. And also, we live in Atlanta. So do you make your own iced coffee at home?
I don't. I buy it. I tried the cold brew thing, but it's like a lot. It's a really long process. So no, I buy iced coffee at the store. Okay.
Well, you say a lot. You say a lot. I say a latte. Oh. But, wow. but if you want a secret, and I'll tell all the viewers out there, here's the secret to iced coffee. Make a pot of coffee and make ice cubes with the coffee. And then when you ice your coffee, use the iced coffee to make your iced coffee. Never a problem, and it'll be super strong.
That's right, and it doesn't get watered down. That's genius. I'm gonna start doing that.
Well, if I'm taking insights from innovators like you, then I might as well share a little bit of insights I've got, right?
Yes, I appreciate that. I am going to try that. I will do that. I'll do that tomorrow for sure.
All right. Well, Lauren, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. Tell everybody about the Bloom Closet.
Sure, yes. So we are located in Fayetteville, Georgia, and we are actually a three-pronged program. So Bloom Our Youth as a whole, we're a private foster care agency. We also do training for foster parents, and then I'm the program manager over the Bloom Closet. So we do our best to be a resource in the state for any foster child, any foster parent who needs to go through training. We are here for that. And we've been around, the Bloom Closet's been around in our current location since 2008. And we have expanded wildly over the past years. There's not a lot of people know, but there's 12,000 children in foster care in the state of Georgia. And so we're doing our best to be a resource for those children. We've currently served in the past year 4,500 foster children in the state. And it's bittersweet to say you want to grow. We don't want there to be that many kids in foster care, but we want to do our best to serve as many as we can. So that's what we're here for. Our mission is to strengthen children in foster care and empower the families who care for them. And every day, every staff member, that's what we do. We do our best to complete our mission as well as we can. And we've been around since the 80s. We started as a group home, but slowly transitioned to our foster care agency and the Bloom Closet.
Wonderful. Wow. I mean, that's well, let's unpack this a little bit, shall we?
I'm ready.
Okay. Foster care. What are the majority of kids coming into into foster care? What are we seeing? Because and again, most people, I think when you say the word foster care, they think Annie.
Sure.
But it's not always that case. It's also,
No.
And what have you.
No. And I really didn't know about the foster care industry, if you will, until I got into this position and what a need it is. So a lot of these kids, their parents are dealing with substance abuse or neglect, or physical abuse. And unfortunately, you see a lot of kids get pulled out of their home at 2 a.m. With nothing but the clothes on their backs, and they're going into some stranger's house. And they don't have anything. And that's where we come in. We provide the essentials to these kids. But unfortunately, a lot of teens don't get a foster home. So they end up in a group home, which is, multiple children living under one roof. And so we do serve a lot of group homes as well. But it's definitely eye-opening to the need out there after working at Bloom, seeing how many kids are coming into care all the time. We get calls, we get referrals. 50 or 60 a week for kids coming into care.
So when a kid gets taken out of their parents' home in the middle of the night and get thrown into a foster parent's home, what are the essentials that you're providing these kids? Yeah, so
each foster child in the state can come and shop with us 4 times a year or once a season. And we have a shopping guide laid out, and everything's like a store. It's set up just like a boutique. So they have a cart, they can walk through, and they get a week's worth of clothing, a pair of pajamas, new socks and underwear, shoes. We have accessories, things like that. And then we also have something called the general store, which is our toiletries, school supplies, books, backpacks, luggage, toys. We do have bedding and blankets. And so really, we try to keep anything on hand that a child might need going into care. And we see infants coming from the hospital straight into care, and we keep cribs on hand, crib mattresses, strollers, diapers, all of the essentials for an infant through a toddler age. We try to have here at the store.
Now, Lauren, that sounds like quite a lot of items that you need. Inventory. Your inventory's got to be very consistent as to what you need, because the needs are very consistent amongst, like you said, babies need diapers.
Right.
Where do you get all these supplies?
Oh, well, we're blessed 100% through donors. So we have state contributors because we are a licensed and certified CPA, but the Bloom Closet is 100% donor funded. So we have a donation center in Fayetteville, and we get maybe 50 to 60 bags of donations a day down at our donation center, where volunteers and staff are processing, sorting, getting them ready for the closet. And we also do have, businesses, churches, corporate donors who are supplying funds to be able to purchase like the socks and underwear. Of course, those have to be new. So we are 100% donor funded, and monetary as well as items. They get us through.
Awesome. And we'll talk a little bit more about fundraising here in a second, but let's also go back to these kids. How often are kids going back to their parents? Are the parents straightened up and the kids getting out of foster care, or are we seeing a lot of these kids just circling through?
Unfortunately, a lot of the time you're seeing them circling through. Of course, our goal as an agency and, supporting the Bloom Closet is reunification. So we want these kids to go back to their parents. We want them, the parents to follow the steps they need to take, and for the kids to go home. That's the goal. But sometimes, that doesn't happen, and you'll see the child a year later in foster care. The foster parents are the true heroes. A lot of foster parents end up adopting, and, that's a new family for them. And sometimes that is the best case scenario. But at the end of the day, reunification is what we're wanting. But there's kids who, they've been in care for the past 3 years that I've been here. I've seen them several times come through, or they age out and they go to college and that's it.
Now, before I talk a little bit about the foster parents, you mentioned the reunification with the parents. Are you providing services for the parents that are losing the kids, or is that another program altogether?
That's another program altogether. Our social workers do work, case managers, do work with the parents and they have visits and things like that. But that's through the state on that level, on what they need to do to kind of get back to, having their kids back in their home.
Now, I've been through the foster care training for being a parent. My son's actually adopted, and yes, yeah. And so it was a family situation. So he's a cousin, but it's a very interesting process to become. It's not like you just sign up and say, I want to be a foster parent. You have to go through a training that you have to actually take a test. I mean, there's a lot of information that you have to gather, and you have to be willing to be. I mean, you say, the kids get picked up in the middle of the night. Well, that's not a joke. Those kids get dropped into these homes in the middle of the night. And foster parents sometimes will get a call hours before and say, hey, can we have someone come over your place? So what kind of training do you do for the foster parents?
Right. So we have Bloom University, and so we do it's statewide as impact training. So we're in Region 4, so we do impact training for our region, and then we also have a retention and recruitment director here at Bloom who works with all of our foster parents, does check-ins if there's anything that they need, and our case managers always make sure that our families are in need, but they have to recertify and go through trainings and have so many training hours each year to continue to be a foster parent. But Bloom does provide impact training for any foster parent, not just ours. And we do trainings like self-care, behavioral issues, and working with trauma, because a lot of these kids come in and unfortunately they've been through a lot, and we help the foster parents learn how to work with children who might have these behavioral issues or PTSD from trauma they faced.
Yeah, no, that's such a huge thing and a real thing. And not just that, that's a big piece, but also it even gets bigger than that. Like, not bigger, but there are other things to consider that most people don't consider. And one of the things that was a takeaway from the class of foster parenting was, sometimes a white couple will get, a black, brother and sister or whatnot. And they don't think about, it's not just like clothing and all that. It's also their hair is different. They have to, you can't. Their hair is different. The products they need are different. The grooming is different, and you have to learn these type of things. And is that something that you help some of these families adjust and learn?
Definitely. In the Bloom Closet, we get questions all the time about hair care and things like that. And so we do our best to educate our staff on at least the basics, how we can help them kind of manage and we'll have them contact our case managers here that can help out with any of those types of questions. And we provide resources, just websites with general information, but we do try to have our staff trained to be able to help in those scenarios. Because you're right, there is a lot of, multiracial families that they get kids and they have no idea, what to do. And that happens. And we have businesses that we work with that specialize in those things to work with foster parents. Even hair salons have offered to help train our foster parents on things like that. Yeah,
no, that's outstanding. There's so many things that people don't consider that go into it. Now, one of the other things though is this is an interesting thing, is when you're dealing with foster care or adoptions, through over the state lines and whatnot. When a kid is in a good home, you would think, okay, this paperwork's gonna be signed, done, and and the reality is that doesn't happen. The social workers, or the child,
DFACS.
DFACS, yes, DFACS
Department of
office.
Family and Children Services. Yes.
So they'll sit there. They're like, get a stack of papers here, which are all people. It's like, okay, well, this kid's alive and well. Okay, move to the next one. This one's safe. Okay, now we got to deal with this one. And so often, what seems like this is gonna be quick and easy isn't. So I'm curious, when you go and do some of the support for foster parents and whatnot, do you help with the advocacy to get the DFACS and get things let's get this let's get this adoption done?
Of course, we always look for foster to adopt is huge, as parents do give up their rights. And so long-term foster families finally adopting their kids is something that we hope to get through the system. But unfortunately, we are dealing with the government and sometimes,
Yes.
they're dealing with so much also. So, we want the process to take a shorter time as possible, if that is what the foster family is looking for to adopt. But you do have to deal with parental rights and things like that. But our social workers are the biggest advocates for our kids, 100%. And they want what's best for them. And if that's the right path, then they're going to do their best to to push that through as quickly as possible. But, we can only do so much on our end, and then you have to leave it up to DFACS to handle the rest of it. But they do attend, our case managers attend all of the court dates and push for the best case scenario that are placed in Bloom homes.
Yeah, and the reality is, if anyone's listening out there that's in that situation, don't give up. Like, it's one of those things where you know what? Like, when you call and call and call, they go, they're like, Lauren, thank you. We're working on it. You're like, I mean, okay, what's the worst? Like, I'm trying to help, you're doing good. So don't feel bad about being persistent, because you have to and do your research. And I think that, I wonder if so one of the things we found, there's all different sections, this and that and whatever, that kids qualify for, which can give them things like health insurance till they're 18.
Right.
And often DFACS will, and it has nothing to do with their integrity. It's not about that. It's about their caseload is so big that there's stuff that if you don't go and do the research, you're not going to know that you qualify or the kid qualifies for it. I'm curious, does the Bloom Closet, social workers and whatnot, help people really discover some of those things?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, they're the child's biggest advocate. And in our case, they work so hard, and their caseloads are huge because we are a small agency. But each case manager has, 14 cases on their hands. And so, but they do their best to provide those resources, to get them the information that they need. So the foster parent can help these kids as much as they can. Foster parents, really, I've learned, are just heroes in a sense. We have one foster parent who has 6 children in her home. Wow. And I can't imagine that. But they want the best for them. And so, yes, our case managers definitely, anything that is needed, they are there on call in the evenings, whatever the foster parent needs.
And speaking of these cases, we seeing a uptick in them. What was it like during COVID? Did things settle down? Like, I'm just curious how things kind of went the break of 2020.
A lot of teachers are mandated reporters. And so during COVID, there was actually a drop because kids were not in school. And so those people were not there. Those teachers were not there to see the kids every day and kind of see what they might be going through at home. So there was a small drop at the beginning of COVID while everyone was virtual in cases. But we're like I said, we're at 12,000 right now, foster children in the state, which is held on steady for the time being. But now the kids are back in school, and you hate to see that. But mandated reporters are how, a lot of these cases get caught, and how kids get out of maybe a terrible situation. Yeah.
Now, on a positive situation, let's talk about fundraising. Where you have a huge closet that needs to be filled. You mentioned that you have some partners and whatnot. Where's the primary funding coming from?
Well, for the Bloom Closet, number-wise, we are donation based. So we probably get about 1,600 bags of donations in a month that we have to process and sort through and get up to the closet. And then we have 2 major fundraising events throughout the year that help support the Bloom Closet. And then grants is a huge one for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our grant writer, she is constantly looking for grants that we can apply for. And that's been huge for us recently. We've been awarded some grants, and that helps us, like I said, the socks and underwear helps us fund that, or any other clothing needs that we might have. But grants and fundraising events are definitely our largest supporters for funds.
What are your 2 fundraising events coming up?
Yes, so we actually have Frocks and Rocks coming up in October. So it is a fashion show, and it's women only, and we have a wonderful boutiques that contribute, and the models walk out in the outfits, and they bid right there. And we do a silent auction, and that's coming up on October 9th, and it's actually down here in Noonan. And so that's one of our largest ones. And then we also have Bloom Ball in the springtime, which is our annual gala. And we did not have it last year. Of course, we did it virtually, which was interesting, but it was fun. And we have Bloom Ball coming up in April of 2022, which will go back to the gala, which that's our largest fundraising event. And it's always a great time with games and a live band. And it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And now, folks at home or wherever you are, if you're in a car, pull over. And what I want you to do is get on your phone, go to bloomouryouth.org, and that's where you can make a donation. And do you have any information there about like what items you might be needing or lacking?
Yes, definitely. So right now we're in something called changeover. So we switched this whole store over to fall and winter clothing.
Oh, cool.
And we kind of are able to see, it's quite the feat, but they are working really hard over there. They're amazing, our staff. But right now, jeans is always a huge one for us because they wear those year round. And so we kind of tend to run low on jeans because that's what they can wear to school. So our youth sizes, about 50% of the kids we see are youth ages. So between 6 and 20, that's a big one for us. Any youth clothing, we always need it.
Now, I imagine that this is a great opportunity. Parents, look,
clean out your closet.
Clean out, not only clean out your closet, make it a class project for your schools. Have all the kids and have the kids give so that they can actually learn a little bit about philanthropy and giving. It's a good opportunity. You could connect with Lauren at bloomouryouth.org. I highly recommend folks going there. Now, throughout all of this, we talk about insights with innovators. You're an innovator. I'm curious, what's an innovation that maybe you've done that in the last year or so that you want to share?
Yeah, well, right now, and I believe there was a picture of it on the opener, our executive director has had this dream for the Bloom Closet Express. And we received a grant this past year, and we were able to acquire it. And so it is a 28-foot mobile food truck that has been outfitted into a boutique. And so a lot of these group homes, they have 30 kids and they can't travel down to Fayetteville. So we have been taking it out. It's a way to extend our reach in the state. And so we're taking it out to underserved counties, and we bring clothes and everything that we have in the general store, and they can shop right there on the property.
That's fantastic.
It's been interesting. I am the current truck driver. It's been fun, but it really is to see these kids come out and shop. It makes all of the difference, and to know that there's a need. So, we'll take it to Savannah. We're going to Athens. Underserved counties. We look for the Bloom Closet Express. So that's been a huge thing for us to extend our reach. At the
That's amazing. I love it. And is that something you plan on maybe having more vans in the future?
I believe our executive director used the word fleet. And so we need to find some more drivers. But yes, I think the goal would be to have at least a couple of these Bloom Closet Expresses. We would probably like to have another standstill location north of Atlanta. But we definitely would love to have another Bloom Closet driving around and serving more kids in the state.
I love it. Now tell us through the eyes of one of these kids, what's the experience like to go through and actually be able to pick out your own clothes, pick out your own whatever that they have in the store there?
At the store and also, on the Express, I've seen it both places. And a lot of these kids, and we serve a lot of teens with the Bloom Closet Express. And, they are just, I hate to say it, but sometimes their attitude is not, they've been through a lot, and I don't blame them. But seeing them shop the Bloom Closet Express and come out with smiles and unbelievably happy that they get to take all of, sometimes they can't believe it. They say, oh, we can take this, this is ours, it's for free. And knowing that we're maybe supplying them with a little bit of confidence to make themselves feel better, or just to help them in their everyday. And if they're down and out, it's something I'm happy to be a part of. It is rewarding, and I want to do it for as long as I can. but a lot of them have just been through so much. I can't imagine what trauma they've been through. So to be able to provide a little piece of hope, it goes a long way for sure.
And just share a little bit about how the Bloom Closet came to be. What was the origin story?
Yes, so we started, we were the Jim Friday group homes back in the day, and Becky, our executive director, worked there, and they started this little tiny clothing closet just to have some items to be able to give to the kids coming into care in their basement. And over time, it grew, and she had this idea for the Bloom Closet. And in 2008, we moved into this building, and it is just blown up ever since. Again, she kind of saw the need on a smaller basis, and then realized, wow, we can do a lot more. We can serve kids from all over the state, and it's just been growing and growing ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's just fantastic. I love hearing how all these different organizations start and how they grow and continue to grow and do just wonderful things to the communities here and the people in need. Now, before I let you go, is there anything that we overlooked that you wanted to mention? Anything we forgot?
I don't think so. We talked about all of our programs, and the Bloom Closet Express, again, was our largest, it's our feat right now. We're trying to get that off the ground, and we welcome volunteers. That's how we run. We have staff, but of course, volunteers help us get things done. And and you go to Bloom Our Youth, OUR, bloomouryouth.org, volunteer, make a donation. And I would think, folks, if you like what you're hearing, pay attention to the spring, because when they do their Bloom gala, I have a feeling that there'll be an opportunity to go ahead and buy another truck and help build the fleet, right? That's right. Let's build a fleet. And actually, you know what? I did think of something.
Yes, go ahead.
We are, this year, we are a finalist for Chick-fil-A's True Inspiration Award.
What's that?
One of 6 in the Southeast, and they reward grants to different nonprofit organizations that are Black-led or helping the Black community. And so we are one of 6 finalists this year. And through September, you can vote on the Chick-fil-A app. And we are right there at the top. If you click on Southeast, you can vote for Bloom. So we are hoping to secure at least one of those grants and be able to expand the Bloom Closet Express and do more here at Bloom.
That is awesome. And can you vote more than one time? Just like once a day?
Unfortunately, you cannot vote more than one time. But if we could get everyone to vote, then I think we'd be all right.
All right. Well, everyone, you're tasked now to do that. So go ahead, take a minute, get out your phones, stop ordering lunch, just vote.
You can get all right. Well, okay.
Thank you so much. Before I do let you go, I ask all of my innovators here to recommend a future guest on Coffee Connections. Is there a nonprofit organizer, innovator here in the Atlanta area that you'd like to recommend?
There is, and I actually just attended, so we're a partner of theirs, and it's called Helping Mamas, and it's located in Norcross, Georgia.
They were a guest.
Oh,
they were one. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Helping Mamas. They were. I thought of you today when we were talking about them, because I was thinking about how when you were talking about all the kids supplies and stuff, and I was like, gosh, I wonder if you connect with that organization to share resources.
Well, I mean, I have some other nonprofits. They're more located in our area, but I do have other nonprofits in mind. But I didn't see Helping Mamas on there. Oh, no.
Oh, I'll have to look. Well, you know what, though? There are 56 now. So in your defense, there's a lot to look through. Yes. And on that note, we're celebrating a year that we did a little over 50 Coffee Connections in the last year. So since we started, so I'm hoping to do more, and hopefully there's some good insights out there. Well, when you think of it, doesn't have to be Atlanta. I'll just share a nonprofit with me, and we'll connect with them. I'd love to do that.
I have a list of some of our partners that would be more than happy to come on here and talk with you and be able to spread the word about the wonderful things that they do.
So with an organization like Helping Mamas, do you communicate where it's like, oh, we've got a real need for, we're really low on diapers or we're really low on bottles, and you could share resources, vice versa?
Yes. So normally we shop with them. So when we're really low on pull-ups, or pull-ups is a huge one for us, or wipes or things like that, we'll contact them, and they're more than happy to help out with any need that we have for toddler and under. And we're very grateful for that.
Awesome. Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Thanks so much, Lauren. And everyone, please, again, go to the Bloom Closet, check it out, and your support's greatly appreciated. We'll see you all here shortly again on Coffee Connections. Have a great day, everyone.